and welcome to this edition of Bison Talks Impact, coming to you via the Total Nonstop Impact Network, via YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, iTunes, basically wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts, we're there. And I'll tell you what, while you're in any of these places that you listen, why not hit subscription, give us a thumbs up. That way you'll never ever miss any of the fantastic fresh content which comes out every single week. Now, you may have noticed this week I'm going solo because it's Wednesday morning here in the UK. It's about 9:30. I've literally just finished watching Emergence Night 1 on my Impact Plus app. Which I could recommend to everybody in the UK. Impact Plus, anyone in the US, fantastic value for money. Oh my God, well, there's just loads of stuff on there. And to be fair, if you're in the UK, the big plus is that you can get Impact literally as soon as it finishes airing in the US, which of course is fantastic for us. We can avoid those spoilers. But also it means that we can watch it, at any time, pretty much as soon as it's aired, which is fantastic for us. Some of the other content on there is pretty good too. But anyway, I diverse. Let's talk about Emergence Night 1. What a great show! I must admit it, from the cold opening package right the way through to the main event. It went really quick for me. I thought there's some great stuff on there. But the cold package was again superb. It gave us a real good insight to the build. Everything building up into the show, into the TV specials. I guess we can call it. It's a TV special, Night 1 Emergence. I think we got some pay-per-view quality matches tonight, which again, for TV quality, it was just good. It was really, really good, and we got it all on our normal weekly channel, weekly show, which is fantastic. You can't ask better than that. So great cold opening package, fantastic, good job, guys. And we kicked off pretty much straight away with the three-way X Division title match with TJP, Rohit Raju. Hey, brother. And Chris Bay. Again, two of those guys I've interviewed actually over the past few months. So for me, this was really good to watch. I was a little bit torn on whether I wanted Chris to retain, whether I wanted Rohit to win, or even TJP, as TJ is one of my all-time favourite wrestlers that have ever been on the TNA Impact roster. Incredibly talented guy, such a clean wrestler, and very innovative as well. I really enjoy watching his matches. Totally. I think over the last year or so, since he's come back to the promotion, he's been doing some really good stuff. And you know what? He just looks so relaxed. He looks so comfortable in the ring, whether he's teaming or whether he's doing a singles match. He's great when he's teaming with Fowler. Those guys have got great chemistry. But bottom line is TJP is one hell of a talent. So this one kicked off. I mean, it was fast. It was quite furious from the off go. I think that we saw some amazing action in this match. Really showcasing TJP, I felt. To be fair, we had a great story being told. I mean, obviously, we sort of kind of got TJP sort of kind of taking the advantage to begin with, getting the best of Rohit and Chris Bay. And that was good. I mean, there was loads of offense going on, including some very interesting submission moves coming from TJ. Some very, innovative moves where he was combining the two and trying to getting both of them in submission moves at the same time. We saw probably two or three of those, and I thought they were really, really good. And it kind of really kind of cemented how good TJ is as a technical wrestler. We've noticed that, you know, in the past he's been an incredible high flying wrestler, but recently, since he's come back to Impact Wrestling, we've started to see a lot more of his technical skill, his submission, his mat wrestling, which is equally as good as his high flying stuff. So it was good to see that from TJ. We had Rohit getting in there, you know, playing the I'm Your Mate card for Chris Bay. That sort of kind of like was working really well. We then obviously saw a swing towards Chris Bay and Rohit getting the better of TJ. But, you know, a typical, you know, storyline being told. It was really good. You know, 1 minute we'd see Chris Bay disappearing and we get a bit of Rohit TJ. We see, you know, vice versa. So we got Chris Bay coming in and Rohit disappearing, you know, and it was, interestingly enough, I think it was a super hard match for TJP, this one, because, you know, at the end of the day, he was constantly being bombarded, while the other two were getting like little rests here and there. I think it was inevitable that he was not going to win, but I think overall the match was really, really strong, technically sound. I think there was a couple of little sort of kind of slips in there, a couple of miss moves maybe possibly from Chris and Chris Bay a couple of times with TJP. But I think overall it was a really, really solid match. It showed everybody off as being quite solid. They went on for quite a while as well, which was really good too. Of course, we inevitably get the turn at the end of Rohit, as he sort of kind of, you know, he does a double foot stomp from the top rope onto Chris Bay, taking him out, and then obviously moving in to finish TJP to end up the new X Division champion. Now, how do I feel about that? I think that is superb. And I'll tell you why, because Rohit is an incredible talent in and out of the ring. The guy can promo, the guy can wrestle, he can tell stories. He's kind of a bit of an old school style wrestler in reality, but he also has some amazing moves which are a little bit more modern as well. So he's quite an all round talent. A great guy, as I found out when I interviewed him about 3 months ago now. But yeah, no, really, really pleased to see Rohit take the win. Fantastic. Well done, brother. Great job. Oh dear, I need that sip of lovely English tea there, by the way, guys. No better way to start your day with a nice cup of English. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, so that was a fantastic match. And yeah, Rohit stealing the win. New X Division champ. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, brother. Right, we move on. We end up with, well, moving into Wrestle House. We get the play date between the Devil Hound and Crazy Steve's monkey, which was quite amusing, and obviously we end that with Bravo getting a bit funny and Steve kind of insinuating that everyone's starting to get a little bit agitated being in a house all together all the time, not being able to get out and all that kind of stuff. So I think that kind of makes sense to everybody. I think that was really good. We then kind of move into Larry D. That was right. We move into Larry D. Now, this was really funny. You know, because obviously you've got AC coming in and he's wondering where Larry is. He smells a funny smell, and it turns out that Larry D spruced himself up, giving him a little squirt of the ring rust aftershave, and yeah, so looking rather dapper. I think the line for me was he was looking like a backup singer for Boyz II Men, which I thought was quite funny. Yeah, that was cool. So then that's sort of kind of, so you can see that there's something going on there. He's obviously getting himself set up for a lady. One of the ladies obviously likes it, which was great in the house. Then move on to a Good Brothers promo. Now, these guys are good on the mic, you know. I mean, these guys can promo. I found that this promo was a little bit stop-starty. I don't know whether it was done in one take or what, but it probably was. But I just found it to be, I don't know, it wasn't quite as cohesive as I expected it to be. It was good, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Excuse me. Getting a bit dry already. I've only just started. Yeah, so obviously that's building up to the Ace Austin, Fulton, Good Brothers feud that we're going to come and see. It's a grudge match that we're coming up to see a little bit later, so that was cool. One thing I wanted to talk about actually was that I really, really love the way that they set up the stage. You had sort of kind of like the stars. It was all, it was like you were traveling through space. So you had the emergence, and you had the sort of kind of like traveling through space, the stars graphic, and they were sort of kind of moving. I really liked it. But what I really like is the way that they set up the spotlights to sort of kind of really highlight the entrance ramp, and it almost elongates it, makes it sort of kind of look bigger than it actually is. But I really like the way that they set up the lighting and everything else to create that amazing backdrop when you're on the hard cam side. I think it looks great. So anyway, that was a special mention for the set. So well done, Impact, for that. Wow. So then we've got the TNA Championship match, Moose versus Trey Miguel. So we got Trey coming out doing his usual, banging around the ring. Total fast entrance, really cool. Does his everything else, everything that you would expect from the Rascal. We then get what I think is probably one of the best entrances to any wrestler in the world today. The spotlight coming down onto Moose. In he comes, nice and slow, walking to the ring, showing his physique, wearing lovely ring attire with the the big robe and another new robe, I might add, with the moose down the lapels at the front. And I think frankly, the sort of kind of like the gold and the white, I mean, he just looks incredible. He looks $1 million. As always, when we do these specials, every taping, I think he generally has a brand spanking new attire. Every pay-per-view he always does something special, and he's done something special today with his emergent outfit, which is fantastic. We get David Penzer do his big introduction. We love that, don't we? Yeah, we love a good David Penzer introduction for a big match. Gives it that big match feel. But yeah, then we get into the match, and we get exactly what I was expecting, which was a bit of a dominance from Moose. Being the almost 7 foot giant that he is. I think Trey's probably about 5'11", so maybe even smaller. But so obviously, he's definitely got a power and a size advantage over Trey. We start to see that from Moose, who's literally just throwing him around the ring like a rag doll, which we expected that. That was exactly what we expected. But what we also get from Moose is not only do we get power moves, but we get the very impressive athletic moves too. So, I mean, there was a couple of occasions where we got to see the standing drop kick. One of the most impressive ones for me was where I think he got Trey up onto the top turnbuckle, and he got right up to head level, which, and he's literally flat, straight out, amazing drop kick. Got to be one of the best in the business at that. So fantastic with that. We then sort of kind of see Moose, doing his thing, throwing Trey around a bit. We get the sort of ultimate underdog story where Trey comes back. Nothing against Trey, but there was no way he was going to beat Moose tonight. Moose was just dominant pretty much the entire match. But we did get a few flurries of offense so that we could see how good Trey is. So we got his showing. And one thing with Trey is he's so quick. I think I mentioned it before, but like he can throw sort of like 3 or 4, offensive moves together in a blink of an eye. I mean, it's so fast. Like you say, I've always said this before, you blink, you miss something from any of the Rascals. And Trey, he is so fast, so athletic. And some of his moves are incredibly innovative as well. But there was no way on this night, I think, that he was going to take out the big man Moose, who eventually rolls up Trey for a big 1, 2, 3, retains the title. Trey obviously gets out there. He's in the ring. I mean, we've got that title. It's up there. And he's showing that bad boy off. We then get obviously EC3 turn up. So EC3 turns up behind Moose, gives him his finishing move. I forgot what they call that move actually, but it's quite a cool move. Lays him out, and of course EC3 goes away, picks up the TNA title, and he's gone. Walks off with it, steals it. So to be fair, EC3 ends up with the title in exactly the same way that Moose did. He just took it. And it'd be interesting to see what comes out from that. And I'm sure we're going to hear even more from EC3 and Emergence Night 2. So that'd be interesting to see where that all goes down. Later on, obviously next week. So I will be doing a breakdown on that one as well, and my thoughts on that one. So I'm looking forward to seeing what EC3 has to say about taking Moose's TNA World title. So that'd be interesting. We then get an amazing Eric Young promo where it shows, a lot of the stuff that he did in his younger days. I mean, we got to see him dressed as Super Eric. We got to see him in Team Canada. We got to see him, in all the different carnations, right the way up to his present gimmick, which was obviously his last gimmick in TNA, which is obviously the American Maniac. Let's face the facts. For me, it is his best gimmick. He is superb in that role. And I was pleased to see him come back as that. So it's interesting. I think it was a really, really good promo, which then led into something which I thought was a little bit unnecessary. This is a special. It was Emergence. I don't think it needed this. But we then get a flashback moment to EY versus Kurt Angle, where he takes him out on a stretcher match or whatever it was. I remember that match. It was a long time ago now, but I do remember that match. It was nice to see a bit of Kurt Angle, I guess, but and EY with a beard. I do like EY with a beard. Interested to see what he'd look like if he had that beard, but with a shaved head. I think he'd look quite cool. But and actually, I think I have seen that somewhere before, and he did look quite cool. So maybe he did that when he was in the E. I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether we needed that match. I think just the promo reel itself was enough. We got it. I mean, it was a cool flashback moment. I was pleased to see that they only sort of ran with about 3 or 4 minutes of it, rather than some of the huge chunks that they've been doing in the past. But I just don't think it was necessary to sell EY. We all know how great EY is. You only needed that reel to see how great he was. We also know that he, during that reel, you saw the Kurt, so an EY Kurt Angle match in the promo reel as well. So that he's fought that guy. So I don't know. I'm just not 100% convinced that was necessarily needed. Once that flashback was done, we then moved on to the setup of a Willie Mack interview with the incredible Jimmy Jacobs. If you haven't seen my interview with Jimmy Jacobs, you want to watch that. That's my latest interview, which is available via the Total Nonstop Impact Network. Make sure you check back on that one. But it was interrupted quite violently by the looks of it. It was interrupted by Brian Myers, who grabs Jimmy and the film crew and drags them off to a stair and says, "Right, well, here we go." We get like a little promo from Brian, letting us know that he is the professional wrestler, the most professional wrestler, I think is the catch line there. And that, if there was there was kind of a little jab at Vince McMahon, I thought at that moment, mentioning, everything at the end of the day being left to a 70-year-old man. I kind of quite like that. I had a little snigger at that one, which I thought was quite good. Obviously, you could see Jimmy thought that was funny too. And then, of course, we sort of kind of like end that promo with Willie Mack coming back and jumping on Brian Myers. So I think, going forward, obviously, next week, that sets up a match between Willie Mack and Brian Myers. So, I think that should be a pretty good match, Emergence Night 2. I'm quite looking forward to that one already. We then obviously went into the promo of the Heath for Impact. I actually really like this. I think it's a really cool idea. Obviously Heath, is wanting to join the Impact roster. He's hungry to get in on the Impact roster, and he's looking to start, selling himself and getting everyone behind him. We need to get, hashtag Heath for Impact trending all over the world, hoping that will help get him signed, showing his popularity, etc. I really like the last bit where it sort of kind of went to green screen, and they said, "Oh, you got another 11 seconds," and he sort of kind of then mentions that he's got kids, which I thought was funny as well. So I think that promo or the way that they're building Heath is really good. And I'm ever so pleased to see both Brian and Heath on Impact Wrestling. I'm not sure if Heath's actually been on Impact before, but obviously we know Brian has, and it's fantastic to see him back and being able to do what we know he's capable of doing. So that's good, and I'm interested to see exactly where we're going to go with Heath now as well, because I think he's got a lot to offer. He's a very talented guy. He deserved better. I think than necessarily what he was being allowed to do at his previous employers. So I think that I'm really looking forward to see how this goes, and I hope we eventually get an official signing. One of those official signings like we've had with, say, Larry D or AC Romero, or that type of thing, where people, Scott D'Amore comes out and gives him a contract. I think that would be pretty awesome to see. But then moving on, we get to the grudge match. The grudge match between Ace and Fulton and the Good Brothers. This is an interesting one, because what I find interesting about this one is that, in terms of tag teams, obviously Ace and Fulton have not been working together as a tag team very long, not on Impact anyway. So I don't know whether they've done any stuff in the past, in any previous on the Indies or anything like that. I've not seen any of that stuff. So they are a relatively new tag team. And then we've got the Good Brothers, who we know are an incredibly well-oiled machine when it comes to tag team wrestling. So it's interesting to see where all this kind of pans out, where that's gonna go. So we both get their entrances. I absolutely love the Good Brothers entrance music. I think it's superb and suits them perfectly. So they come out. We've got, basically, what's interesting also about this is you've got Carl Anderson, Ace Austin, both of similar builds, and then of course we've got the two big men. I think Fulton is actually a little bit taller than the big LG, but both are big dudes, and I'm sure the difference is only an inch, maybe, but they're both big, strong, thick dudes. And it's going to be interesting, and obviously we're all intrigued to see where that one goes. So we get into the match. We start off with Carl and Ace. We get some good stuff from those guys, showing off all their skill sets. I think Carl sort of kind of gets Carl Anderson gets the upper hand a little bit over Ace, which is interesting to see. And then of course we eventually get into the Fulton and the big LG, Doc Gallows kind of confrontation. The two, they start having a slugfest, and who's gonna come out on top. We get some real hard hitting moves. So that was good. I think we started to really see the fact that the Good Brothers tag team specialists, they work together really well. in the ring. Some really good storytelling going on. I think Carl Anderson is technically very, very good, and he's good at selling the hit too, which is good, really good seller. But what I thought was really good was as well that this was not one-sided at all. Everybody got a good showing. Everybody got their move set in. We saw how frankly evenly matched Fulton and Doc Gallows were in terms of their power set and move set. And it was interesting to see that dynamic sort of kind of like come together in the ring. It was really good. Of course, we had some good stuff going. We had a lot of to and froing going in there from these guys. It certainly wasn't one-sided at all. And I think moving forward, it's going to be interesting to see where this storyline goes. I think we're going to start seeing Ace and Machine Gun Anderson. We might see a match with Fulton versus Doc, and we'll end up, I think it'd be interesting to see, exactly where this one goes over the coming weeks leading up to Bound for Glory. It certainly isn't ended here. But, of course, we eventually end up with a Good Brothers win. I think we were all expecting that. I don't think we could have had a Good Brothers debut match that was a loss. I think, they had to win. And I think, it was good. I think it was a good, solid match. And I really, really enjoyed it. I apologise. You can hear my dog barking in the garden. So I don't know what he's barking at. Probably someone in their garden or something. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Please ignore that. So we get the win. Good Brothers go away. So that's all good. I was expecting something to happen in this match, but it didn't, which was really surprising. I thought we might have seen something. I don't know. Someone come out and back up Ace and Fulton, or someone come out and back up the Good Brothers or something like that, but we didn't. It was a good, clean match, good, clean win for the Good Brothers. So absolutely, and it was a great match. It was really good. So I was happy to watch that. Then we move on, and of course we've got Wrestle House. Now, the big take from this one has to be who took the Deaner's beer. Somebody took the beer. Who was it? We don't know, but I'm sure at some point we'll be finding out who took the Deaner's beer. For me, I think the continuation of the Larry D kind of, we sort of find out who Larry D is getting himself all dressed up with his special aftershave ring rust. So we get to see who that was, and of course it was Rosemary. The music hits, and he's obviously hitting on Rosemary, and she's obviously giving him the eyes, and we can see that this is all in an attempt to make Johnny Bravo, or John capital E Bravo, jealous. And I think that clearly it was working because he didn't look too happy about this scenario. But Rosemary then sets up a date, I think it was, with Larry for next week's show. So it'd be interesting to see where this date is. I mean, will it be in hell? I don't know. Could it be at Larry's, style of dinner? Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, they've got some sort of date going on next week. We're interested to see where that pans out. And I think definitely John E. Bravo was definitely getting a little bit jealous. And everyone could see it too, which was interesting. We then move on to the Kylie and Taya match. Now, obviously, this was a Wrestle House match, so outdoors. And what did we find? Oh, Rosemary is the guest referee, so we think Taya is definitely going to have a slight advantage here over the smiley Kylie, hashtag smile style. So we get an interesting match there. I mean, it was a typical Wrestle House match. A lot of fun. We get the rest of the housemates around the ring giving it, cheering them on and everything else. So we get a typical match there. We get Rosemary obviously showing an advantage there over Taya. She definitely got the advantage there. But unfortunately, for Rosemary and Taya, Rosemary has to end up giving the 3 count to Smiley Kylie, which seemed to be pretty happy for everybody in the crowd. They were quite pleased to see Taya lose, I think, which was interesting. And of course, we get the little interaction between Larry and Rosemary again, which was cute. And of course, John, capital E Bravo, was again able to see that. We then get Crazy Steve basically telling him he needs to make his move, otherwise he's going to lose out, which I thought was really cool too. We then obviously move on to a little a bit talking about Emergence Night 2, where they confirm the Myers and Mac match. Obviously, we got the Gianna versus Jordan Grace main event, which is going to be an incredible match. I cannot wait for that one. So we then move into the main event. The North versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, I love both these guys' entrances, the way they come out. I love Motor City Machine Guns. They are great. They're such a good team. I love them back in the day, and I love them now. They haven't lost a step. They really haven't. And I thought that Ethan Page was looking absolutely superb. He's obviously dropped some weight. He's getting a bit more jacked. He was looking good. And this was an incredible match. I mean, we got Josh and Saban kicking it off. I mean, those guys, they were just going at it, and I think there was some really good stuff going on. We had some cool tag team stuff going on. There was a lot of two-man stuff going on between both teams. There was no, and I think we had so much coming from both of them. It was a very evenly fought match, and I have to be honest, right to the end I wasn't sure if the North were going to nick it. I think that obviously if MCM were going to lose, it would have been kind of a bit weird, because at the end of the day, you win the title, it would have been a very, very short title defense. So I was kind of expecting the Guns to win, but either way, I thought what we got to see was an incredible display of tag team wrestling. Bottom line is, if you didn't think that was a great tag team wrestling match, then you're not a fan of tag team wrestling. Simple, pure and simple. Incredible match. We saw a really good match from the Good Brothers, AC and Ace Austin and Madman Fulton earlier, and then this one was just incredible. These guys put on an absolute display of how good tag team wrestling is when you've got two awesome tag team specialist teams working together. I think they were great, and I have to say, this is definitely not going to be the end of this. However, I guess with the boys, with Motor City Machine Guns winning the match, it then obviously means that the North now cannot have another one. So I think we may see a couple of singles matches. We might see that. Might see Saban versus Paige, or whatever, or Alex Shelley versus Josh. I don't know. We may see a couple of singles matches between them, but at the end of the day, we can't see a tag match at the moment. So what I think they're possibly setting up with the lead up to Bound for Glory could be a tag team tournament in a couple of weeks' time. Once we've got Emergence out of the way, who knows? And then we might see the emergence of the North maybe ending up winning that and facing Motor City Machine Guns at Bound for Glory, and then maybe regaining. I don't know. I don't know. That's just a thought process. It would be interesting to see if that is what happens. But whatever happens from now on, they've had their rematch and they've lost. So it's going to be interesting to see where that pans out, where that goes. But all I know is that it was an incredible match, and I want to see it again. So it'll be interesting to see where that dynamic goes. But what I do know is that MCM, Motor City Machine Guns are now going to have to face a couple of other, some other tag teams. And do you know what? I would love to see Motor City Machine Guns versus Falaba and TJP, because I think that, again, would be an absolutely superb match. I mean, who knows? Maybe the Good Brothers start throwing themselves into the mix to take on the tag team title. We might see that, and maybe actually it ends up being, the Good Brothers that, end up, going for the title at Bound for Glory. I don't know. We don't know how it's going to pan out. But what I do know is that the tag team division at Impact Wrestling is looking really, really strong. And it's funny that all it really needed was an injection of the Motor City Machine Guns and the Good Brothers to do that. When you think about it, Reno Scum, Falabad TJP, the Good Brothers, the North, Motor City Machine Guns now. I don't know. We've got some great tag teams on Impact Wrestling. So let's look forward to seeing what we've got to come from that. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, the Motor City Machine Guns win the match. They go away. We didn't get any surprises at the end. We didn't get any bigness or anything like that. It was a clean win, and that was the end of the show. We got the celebration from the boys. You know what? I thought tonight was a really, really solid show. Do I think it could have been a little bit better? Yeah, maybe. Maybe we could have had a surprise in there or something like that, or maybe we could have just had something, a couple of more things, maybe something to end the show, which was a bit interesting. Maybe someone, running in and attack, or turning up for Motor City Machine Guns, a tag team or something saying we're next. I don't know. Maybe something, you never know. But then you don't know what's going to come out, at Emergence Night 2. We could get something start to stir up there. So, but what I do think is that Emergence Night 1 is set up Emergence Night 2 really, really nicely. So, there's nothing left to say really. I think it was a really, really solid show. We had some great wrestling. The matches was good from start to finish. We get a new champion in Rohit, which is amazing. I'll say it again. Congratulations, my brother. Fantastic result. And all that hard work is finally paying off for you. So I'm really pleased to see that. Well done, Rohit. And, we get to see the Motor City Machine Guns retain their title. We see the Good Brothers win against Ace and Fulton. So it's going to be interesting to see where that pans out. We see Kylie winning against Taya, which again was I don't know. I wasn't sure he was going to win this one, but that was cool to see. As always, Smiley is the number one contender. Kylie Smiley is the number one contender, so it'll be interesting to see where that pans out again once we get Emergence Night 2 out of the way. So again, we're continually making our number one contender look strong, which is good. And of course, probably the talking point of the night has to probably be EC3. Taking away Moose's title, stealing it away at the end of his title win against Trey Miguel. So, wow, interesting. EC3 steals the TNA World Championship belt. What's he going to do with it? I don't know. I guess we're going to have to wait to find out next week. Anyway, that's the end of today. It wasn't a particularly long one today. I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts and reaction from Emergence Night 1. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Total Nonstop Impact YouTube channel or wherever you're listening on SoundCloud. Don't forget to smash the bells to make sure that you get all of the updates on all of our fresh new content. Check out some of my interviews. I recently, my most recent ones is Eric Young and Jimmy Jacobs. Both fantastic interviews. Check them out. Via the Total Nonstop Impact channel. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Lord Bison 45, and also check out the Total Nonstop Impact at We Talk Impact on Twitter. Make sure you follow us, and we look forward to hearing from you guys. Leave us a comment, make sure you leave us a thumbs up, and make sure you let all your friends know about the channel. It's really, it really means a lot to us when we see you guys leaving us positive comments, sharing us around, giving us thumbs up. on our content. We love it. So, if you've got anything to say on Emergence Night 1, please leave me a comment below, and I'll be happy to interact with you guys. Anyway, that's it for today. Bison Talks Impact. Well, I've been Bison. This has been Emergence Night 1. This has been Bison Talks Impact.